Right before we jump into this video, if you'd like me to send you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations, look for this orange box over on froknowsphoto.com. Put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I will send you that guide for free. Jared Polin, froknowsphoto.com, and I want to break down how I ended up on stage with Poison in front of 55,000 people to get shots like this, this, and this. So I'm gonna break down the entire shoot. I'm gonna go through the images to show you the best of the best with honors, sir, and sometimes not so much the best of the best with honors, and show you how I culled down from 2,128 images all the way down to 70 some, and then we're gonna take it even further to pick the best of the best with honors, sir. Now this is probably gonna be a pretty long video because I'm breaking down how I am shooting. I also don't have the ability with the Canon R3 to record the EVF, but there is footage of me on stage, and there's 360 footage, and there's photos that some people submitted of me actually doing some of these shoots. So I'm gonna break this down for you starting right meow. These are all the photos. Yes, it's 2,128 total images that I do not edit every single one. If you're editing every single image, there's a problem. The thing is, I don't care, and I've said this before in the video where if you shoot 5,000 images, don't deliver 5,000 images. Deliver the best of the best that you can deliver. And the same thing applies when I'm doing these shoots. If I shoot 20-some hundred images, I'm gonna go through and select my keepers, edit those keepers, and then select the best from there. And when you're only showing your best work, it makes you look fantastic. But I'm gonna show you some of the not best stuff because I'm here to help teach you guys how to get better. So, I didn't do 2,128 images, but what I did is I went through and I 5-starred the ones that I wanted to edit. And that's what you're gonna see right here. It's edited down to 93 total images. Yes, from 2,128 down to 93 keepers. What you have to understand is that I'm using an R3. I'm shooting at 30 frames per second. So there are certain times where I am unloading a quick 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 pictures in a row because I'm trying to get a specific moment. And when you're trying to get that specific moment and you have the power to shoot that many images, is it cheating? No, but it does give you a benefit these days when you get your composition, you bang that button out, you get those shots, and you pick the exact moment that you want. That's why we have the ability to do what we do now. So what was I shooting with? Canon R3, a whole bunch of different glass, 28 to 70 f2, 85 1.2, 50 1.2 that I don't think came out of the bag at all because of the 28 to 70 f2, the 11 to 24 f4 is an EF lens that's adapted to the R3 because that is the widest lens that they have for me to adapt to this camera. They need something else. So how did I end up getting on stage and backstage with Poison? Well, this is Ricky Rocket. Ricky Rocket is the drummer for Poison, and he's been following my work since before the pandemic, and I got in touch with him, and he said, hey, we're coming around on tour, playing big stadiums, and that ended up getting canceled because of COVID. And when they decided to come back around now, I reached back out and he's like, yeah, come on out to the show. Now at first, I was approved to shoot the set or to shoot 2 songs from the pit, and I'm like, the normal thing that I do is like, I don't want to shoot with everybody else from the pit. I'm not going to get those shots that I know are going to be great. He's like, don't worry, come on out to the stadium. And I got there super early. Doors were at 3:30, and I showed up at 12:30 to get into the parking lot because I was also testing out the 360 camera, but Ricky called me, picked me up in his golf cart. I had the 360 rolling for that, and took me to the backstage area, which you're gonna see right here. This is the backstage area where they were at. There was nothing special about where they were. Their buses were parked a while away, and they had these trailers set up where they were. Let me go back to the 2200 and 2,128 images. So you can see that I took a lot of shots. When I'm trying to get the right portrait, I have to take a bunch of shots because I'm shooting at 1.2 trying to nail it. But you also have to know that if you have a lot of the same images, you don't need to go ahead and select them. You want to pick the best. The same thing applies when you're doing weddings. So here we go. This is the R3 with the 85-1.2 at 1.2, 100 ISO, because there's a garage door behind me. We're using the garage light that's just letting the light in. It's behind me. Can we see it from the side here? Yeah, you can see that where this chair is, that's where the garage door is. And that's why we're using the natural light. So under develop here, we've got, these are my settings, 1/60th of a second, 1.2, 100 ISO, a little slower than I normally shoot these days. There's no IS in that lens, I don't believe, because it's so big, but you have image stabilization in the body. My goal with this shot is to ask him to get his head as straight as possible. Ideally, I don't want as much headroom as I have here. I would like to bring down my level a little bit more or go in a little bit. This is where Sony's 135-1.8 is fantastic. I would prefer, I hope that Canon has one, and the rumors say that they're working on it. If I had more time, because they were about to head off to do something else, they had to go do a meet and greet, and I'm like, I need to get, well, I didn't need to get the shot, but I was like, we got this right here. I'm waiting. I might as well take a picture. Threw the 85-1.2 on there. I was like, hey, Rick, let's get a quick portrait, and I did. If I could do it again, I would change my level a little bit and go there. But this is a really perfect shot for a photo book that I'll put together with these guys. All these photos, because I have enough to put together a photo book for my memory wall over at the house. As you can see, I have all of my, I have all the good shoots that I like. I put up on the wall. I make a book where I have enough to make a book. But this is nice and sharp, like the black and white tones. Really like the way the image turned out. Now you'll see that I've got starred images and red images. Red are my best of the best with honors, sir. So I go through and I get to the starred, and then I go down. So I went from 93 shots to 77. And I want to edit it even further down from this. But first I want to show you all the story behind that's going on, because that's what I'm trying to do, is tell a story. What's cool about this, is it the greatest thing ever? No, but he's warming up his hands. You got the drumsticks, have some motion to it, because I'm at 1/200th of a second. I'm at f4 with the 11-24. You can see this is the dressing room for Poison, catering's this way, everything. Went with black and white because the color probably isn't that good. You know, the distraction of the Polaris, and I don't want that. So I go ahead and I just go black and white and tweak that myself. Wide shots, showing backstage as much as possible. You can see it's not super glamorous. It's not 1987 again. If it was 1987, it would be, ooh, I would be 6 years old, but there would also be a lot of other things going on, most likely backstage in the 80s, pre-cell phone camera. But I like this because it's a wide shot that just shows the scene. It's probably gonna get almost split down the middle in the book, so, well, it looks like he's not right in the gutter, so that's okay as well. Like I've said, normally I would love to have my electronic viewfinder recording like I do with the Sony and do with the Nikon, because that takes you right in to the picture with me and into the scene, because you see everything happening. But in this case, we're going with the pictures, and later we're gonna see some of the other footage that I got. So moveonhere.org. We got CC DeVille here. They're waiting to go to the meet and greet. Ricky's stretching, and I just thought it was kind of cool with the black and white reflections. You can see the garage door open to outside where we were. All right, now we're on stage. So I was approved to go shoot on stage. You don't always get approved to go shoot on stage. And as I tell people, if you have the opportunity to get on stage during massive, massive shows, you can shoot out in towards the crowd where you've got a plethora of people. You've got 55,000 people in the background of the image, versus if you shoot just the stage stuff, it's gonna look like a stage shoot anywhere in the world because there's no context. You don't have the architecture of Citizens Bank Ballpark or the festival where you're shooting, the memorable things that are part of the scene. You don't have that. So my goal is to try and get on stage. So I get on stage, Ricky's here, warming up behind. Very difficult because it's 6 o'clock when they're going on. Let's see what time it is here. It says 5:52, yeah, so they were going on in 8 minutes. little less than 8, so about 7 minutes. I know I'm so literal. They were going on to 7 minutes, and I'm just getting here on stage to try to find where I want to shoot from and to get some backstage candids. Ricky's warming up. Love the black and white. Now notice this little ladder here. I'll go back to the last image. This little ladder here. I was like, can I get on top of this? Am I gonna be able to get on top of this to get up higher to try and get the photo that I wanna get? To try and get the overall, showing the entire stadium, showing the band from up there. Because I like to stand on the drum riser, but I can't, there was no room. This would get me up higher. You'll see what happens in just a few minutes, but I did end up going up there. Let me jump in here real quick because I want to show you this photo taken of CC DeVille from Poison and edited with a ton of FroPak 3, starting with Zoolander. Look at this. One click, Zoolander looks great. Then we've got Walter White, followed by November Rain without a vignette. We got Mount Airy, Mentos, King Contrast, followed by Capone, Canadian Tuxedo, Almost Famous, and Fifth Element. They all work with basically one click, but let's go up to FroPak 1 because I want to show you Silvertide looks awesome, and so does Cookies and Cream. But check this out. With this photo of Bret Michaels, we're going to hit it with some Skittles from FroPak 1, and you're like, oh, Jared, but it's too yellow. Yeah, it's coming out a little yellow. All we need to do is pull that out, and basically all of those in one click give you a great starting point and help you speed up your raw workflow, and they work on mobile as well. So we created 15 custom Lightroom presets that you can check out right now at froknowsphoto.com/FroPak3. While you're over there, you can play with the sliders to see the befores and the afters, and if you decide to pick them up right now, they are currently on sale. Or if you want to grab the triple play bundle, which includes FroPak 1, 2, and 3, you can grab those and save even more. You saw how easy it worked right there on that CC DeVille photo. It's pretty amazing to go through 10, 15 different presets, and they all look unique and different. Now, let's get back to the video. So, boom, got that shot. Always get the crew guys. It's always important to get the sound guys, the crew guys. They'll be forever grateful that you got photos of them as well. So make sure you do that. So we got Bobby here. We got the crew guy handing him his pick, handing him his bass, getting ready to go. Try to get all the guys. Then CC DeVille is here, and I'm like, God, he looks like a rock star with that hair. I mean, he is. So we got the 28 to 70 f2, which I wish it went a little bit wider, but you know, the tones I got off the f4 here are fantastic as well. These tones are great. The 28 to 70 f2 really helps separate your subject. So I do shoot this at f2 all the time, as wide open as possible. My settings 2000 f2, 1/2500th of a second, and yes, I could drop my ISO. People always ask this, couldn't you have dropped your ISO? Why are you at 1/2500th of a second for subjects that aren't moving? My answer to that is why not? 2000 ISO with the R3, perfectly fine. I also know it's going to be a dance between going from light to dark, and in the super bright area, I'm gonna have to tweak the shutter speed. I really don't tweak the aperture. I leave that set to where it needs to be, but I'll bang down the ISO to go lower if it's super bright, or I'll bump up that shutter speed, whichever I decide to react to quicker. But all that really matters is, did you get the shot? It's about getting the shot. I don't care if you're off by a little bit. I don't care if you're off by a lot. As long as you bring it back and you shoot raw, you'll be able to go ahead and do stuff like that. So I'm trying to show the backstage area. This is a little tight. It's not super tight. It's not super wide, but he's just playing it up for me. I love the reflection in the glasses, and I love the color tone. That's why I left this black and white. But then I went horizontal. We went horizontal. I don't know if I noticed the Marshall amps here on the left. I don't know if I noticed that stack, but I'm using this stack here, the Poison case. I don't even know, again, if I saw that Poison was spray painted onto the Rode case. You have all of the electronics in the background for the stage. We've got the beautiful looking guitar with the leopard print, and we got CC right here warming up before they go on. What time is it here? It's 5:56, so now we're 3 minutes and change from them going on stage. I did do the black and white. It looks classic. but there's something about this color and the tones that I'm really happy with. Look for these frames. Look for objects that draw you into the subject. I don't think I saw that Marshall there was a Marshall stack here, and I don't think I saw that the road case had poison on it. It's just framing. I'm finding my framing, and those things just so happen to be framed properly. It just comes with time, and it's a feel, and it's something that just, the more you shoot, the more you see, and also seeing my stuff. You may see, here, let's see if we can show you some bad stuff too, because it's not just all the good stuff. Look at all the shots I ended up taking of him here. Yeah, that's a lot of photo. Holy Jesus, Jared. That's a lot. That's because you're shooting at 30 frames a second. But some of these just don't cut it. Also, I don't edit them all because some are very similar. You're looking for a specific thing. This is just tight. We don't really get the feel of the backstage as much. That's what we want. We want more of the feel. But look how the color comes up. So that's why you can see that not all of these are winners. And yeah, again, this isn't spraying and praying. This is taking 2-3 shots at a time and looking for that right image. That's a right image. Look, and these are all very similar, but I don't like that there's no light in the face, and this is so much better, and I absolutely love it. So really cool. I love this shot. I think this is an awesome backstage shot. It tells the story of the scene. They're ready to go on. There's some cool side light coming in, and just, I like the coolness of the tones. Don't forget to get the behind the scenes people. Now, this isn't going to be one that I keep by the time that we ended. I made it a red keeper because I was giving it to Ricky and all of these guys, so I wanted to make sure that I delivered it to them. So you just want to get these shots. These are going to be good for the book for them because it means a lot to them. Another behind the scene guy, and then the group shot. So these 5, that's more than 5, Jared. That looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 are ones that by the end we'll edit out and we'll take it down to even more images. As much as I like this shot, the only way that you're going to be able to really do this is if you balance light with a flash, because it's super bright out there. Where am I with my exposure? Actually, my exposure is right on for him, but there's no way you're gonna bring this back. I'll show you where it started. That's the light that I had, not good. So it's cool what he's doing. I actually used Silvertide preset because my black and white didn't look good. The Silvertide one did look better here. I rarely use that for my own stuff, but it worked out. I don't think this is a keeper shot. I think they may like it, but I think I have better stuff as we go forward. Like, I think this is better. You can now see that the light is more balanced. I'm at 2 on him. 1/6400th of a second, yeah. So this is the case where, no, I don't need to be at 2000. I don't need to be at 1/64,000th of a second. Sorry, 6400th of a second. Does it matter at the end of the day? No, I got the shot. Could I have brought the ISO down? Yes, absolutely. Does it matter? No. As long as I'm not at 8,000 for no particular reason, it's fine. No one's gonna look at it and be like, oh, you must have shot this at too high of an ISO, or the noise. There is no noise, there is no grain, it looks fine. Oh, I'm gonna need to bang out a print of this one. I haven't banged out a print of this one yet on the Pro 100. I'm gonna bang out some others soon. All right, now they're heading out on stage. The show is about to start. You've got security guy off to the side here. This is all right. I don't think it's the best of the best, but it's pretty good. I have to make sure I get the drummer. You always have to make sure you get the drummer. Everybody forgets the drummer. It's not that they forget the drummer. It's just that the light on the drummer is generally bad. So I have this opportunity to squeeze in back here and get the shots of Ricky playing drums. So here he is. I left it color for this one, and then went Silvertide for this because I love, oh, look, we got CC DeVille in the background, out of focus. We are 28-70 at 32 millimeters, 1/10,000th, oh boy. I'm at 1/10,000th of a second. See, this is why I really wish I had the EVF, because you could see how fast everything is happening. Right off the bat, everything's happening fast. You're trying to react and trying to see the moment and capture it. And in this case, I'm at 1/10,000th of a second, which just about no camera does. The A1 does it, and the Nikon Z9 does it, which is fine, but no, I should not be at 2000 ISO here at f2. Totally could bring it down a hell of a lot more, and I probably end up doing that as I get comfortable, as I get into the situation and the scene. When stuff's moving fast, you gotta react, you just gotta get your shots, and also be aware of these things, which I got the exposure right. See, my exposure is 0. Like, I didn't change my exposure at all. That's what it looks like in color, straight out of the camera, and that's what it looks like with Silvertide. I really like that one. A little wide, oh, I tucked in a little more to give more of the scene. This is smoke, this isn't problems with me. Oh, and look what happened from these shots. I went from 2000 ISO to 640 ISO, which brought me down to 1/2500th of a second at f4. Oh, that's because I also switched lenses, and then I was like, oh, I don't need to be this fast, and I saw it. 640, why am I still at 1/2500th of a second? I'm at 1/2500th of a second because I'm looking to freeze the action here. Yeah, I could slow it down and get the drumsticks. There's time for that later in the show, but they also then told me that I only could shoot 2 songs from the stage. The tour manager came over and he's like, you're not approved to be here. I mean, I was approved to be there. He's like, okay, you could do the 2 songs and then you got to go into the pit, which actually turned out to be pretty good because the pit was massive here. No one else was, there's one other guy shooting and it was just me. He and we were shooting. Yeah, so I got my 2 songs up on stage. Okay. Dan, show the pictures of me up on, oh, actually, before you do that, Dan, you see this ladder right here on the left? That's what oh, that's not what I ended up climbing. No, that's not what I ended up climbing. I ended up climbing the one right behind him, which is right behind him. Dan, show those pictures of me up on the thing. Cut back, I'm directing, I'm like the producer here. This is the shot up on that riser. I don't think I'm perfectly straight with this one. I can tell that with this line here. I'm generally pretty straight. This was difficult. It was difficult to get up on that thing because I've got a camera with the 11-24. I'm still at 640 ISO at 1/2500th of a second, and I crawl up there. And a lot of people go, well, Jared, why are you wearing purple? Why aren't you wearing your stage blacks? And my answer to that is I'm a white guy with an afro. You're gonna see me no matter what. I don't skulk around stages. I don't sneak down aisles where you know how you crouch, people crouch down when they think they're gonna be seen? Well, you're gonna be seen, so just be seen. I don't worry that the crowd is seeing me. They're paying attention to the band, and only other photographers would be like, oh, there's Jared doing his thing. The shot is what matters. The band isn't gonna look at this later and be like, oh, well, dude, you got in the way up there. I was up there, let's see how long I was up there. Because I ended up smashing the button and taking quite a lot of shots up here. See, I was up there at 6:06 and 13 seconds. I stayed up there pretty long. Well, maybe I didn't stay up. And 6:06 and 13 seconds. Oh, there's more. And let's see where I come down. Oh, Jesus, Jed, this is hundreds of pictures up here. That's because I can't hear or see. 16:06 to under a minute. I was up there for under a minute. And did I take a lot of pictures? The answer to that question is, yeah, that's a lot of pictures. Let's see how many this is. Keep going. That is 172 pictures. So what? 172 pictures. It is what it is. I wanted to get the shot, and I was up there for under 2 minutes. So just over a minute, I was up there, and then I climbed down with the help of the Ricky's security guy because he saw that I was struggling to get down from up there. Black and white or color, which do you think is better for this? I'm drawn to the black and white because it kind of evens out the tones in the background, but the color is kind of cool because you do have the color. It's also very difficult to balance your light. Let's show you where this started. This is unedited, not bad. I kind of split the difference. I overexposed for outside a little bit, knowing that I needed to get more light for Ricky here because they're in the shade. You can see where the line is. Boom. This is what the edit looks like in color. This is what it looks like in black and white. That, to me, is a killer winning shot. Moving on, we got CC DeVille here. While I still had my 2 songs on stage. Oh, geez. I'm at 1/12,800th of a second at 640 at f2 because now he stepped out into the sun. But I just reacted, and the thing that I did is I raised my shutter speed. I have it there to do. I kind of like this because of how blown out the background is. They're not distracting. He's nice and isolated, and all these people out here, you could still see the stadium. So that's good. I like that shot as well. Let me cut in here real quick and let you know that this video is brought to you by Squarespace. I personally use Squarespace for JaredPolin.com and have been using it for over 10 years.
10 years!
Because it's simple, affordable, and I don't need to know coding. And in fact, I put up the Poison Gallery in under a minute because that's how easy it is to upload your images, put a gallery live, and have it out there into the world. So if you want to check out Squarespace and get your own personal website, go to squarespace.com/FronosPhoto. If you decide that it's for you, use the code FronosPhoto at checkout to get 10% off your first order. It's simple, it's easy, affordable, and I guarantee you in 30 minutes or less, you will have a full functioning website out there in the world. Now, let's get back to the video. Next up, I went with another Silvertide edit. This is Silvertide, this is from FroPack 1, because my black and white, I just didn't like how my black and white looked. This is what it looks, this image looks like uncorrected. You see how flat it is out of the camera? I threw some Silvertide on there. I don't mind that I have a vignette going on. And he's back in the shade, so he's at half the shutter speed at 1/640th of a second. Sorry, 1/6400th of a second. But I like this angle. I like what's happening with his hair. I like his rock stance that he's in. This is a tweener one, but I like it because we have Bret Michaels in the background and you've got CeCe right here with the hair blowing. The big thing here is that you're getting shots out into the crowd because there's so many people there. Versus, here, I'll skip forward real quick, versus this. This is my point. This is my point. This could be in any stage, in any place, at any time. Colors are great. I'm at 200 ISO for this one now, but you don't have the crowd. So yeah, this is a good shot. Oh, it's actually pretty interesting. Watch this. Look at the light above his head. From one shot to the next. You know how fast this is? So the light's there, the light's not there. See that? Everything's just moving so fast. And you just gotta know when to pick the right shots. Like these aren't exactly the right shots. They're not that they're too tight, there's not a lot of great light. But then that's just better. It's just better. So let's take you back here. Move through this a little quicker. Ricky Rocket again, vertical on the drums. I like the colors. Tones look good on this. 320 ISO. Same thing down here. Good angle. 28 to 70. F2. We're at 2000th of a second. So there's only so many shots of a drummer you can get unless you go out in front of them. All right. So that was the last shot I took on stage until the end. And now I'm in the pit. So I walked out to the front of the pit. They have a really good stage setup because Motley Crue and Def Leppard were gonna play after. And now I'm just trying to find the angle. I like it because he's floating. I'm on the left side of the stage and there's a huge, the sun is going down and that's where it's setting on that side. So I'm fighting the sun a little bit, but trying to use it to my advantage, right? I'm trying to get I don't like flare, but the flare is just what happens in this situation. A lot of people go for that. Look, now I'm down at 250 ISO, 1/3200th of a second. But this is what it looks like on this side of the stage. Now if we start to utilize the sun, look what happens. Look at the tones that we get, right? A really cool side light. I like the black and white here. It's super thick. I think it looks really good. 1/6400th f2, 200 ISO. Perfectly fine. Your shutter speed doesn't matter. If it's gonna be super fast, it's gonna be fine. I don't think I like the color here because look at his face, right? We don't have a lot of light up in there. And I'm contending with some of these other lights, but that's okay. I think this is all right. I don't think this is the best of the best. I think this is okay. I'm not really sure whether I like the color or the black and white, but I think the color tones look really good and the black and white looks good. And you can still see the crowd. Another good action shot, cut off his toe. Couldn't really see the toe in the viewfinder with how fast this stuff was happening. I also had sweat coming down my face, so I couldn't exactly see it, but that's a much better composition. A little hot up here in the edit. You can still see a little of the halo, but I think that's fine. I don't think most people would ever have an issue with it. Now you got the bass player coming out. I'm in the pit, so Dan's running some footage, hopefully, that he has of me, because Dan was off to my right-hand side, got him tickets for the show, so he was able to attend. But yeah, so I like when it's a super high stage, you kind of make it so that it's a hero shot. When you're down lower and they're up on stage, it makes them look like rock stars, and they are, so it makes them look bigger. And that's why we want to be at that lower angle. And when it's a high stage and you can have, get on your tippy toes if you need to do this, it just looks better. Look how good this looks. I love the color here. Harsh light, it is harsh light, but we made it work. And then the black and white. Next black and white is really good. We got the foot, we've got the yell, we got the bass, we got really good straight lines. Look how straight these freaking lines are, Jared. Those are good straight lines. Didn't I have a, oh yeah, I showed those two. Okay, yeah. So these straight lines are great. And then I switched to vertical and he's going back up onto the stage. So that's cool. Already showed you these three to show you the difference between on stage and off stage, shooting the crowd. This is cool because they have an unbelievable lighting setup, so it's nice to have. They're good, but they're not like this, right? I don't think this is that good of a shot. I may not end up picking this. I'd be curious what they would say. Now I'm at 100 ISO. Because it was super bright. I prefer this because you've got some face going there, and this is just a number one up in the air. Not the greatest one. I think that's a little better. I like this going across the stage. And then this I kind of like because you get that whole flying V going, and the hair is a little block in the face. This edit, probably a little over the top. I would probably pull back just a little bit. It's probably the dehaze. Meh, we'll live with it. Then he was doing a solo, Ricky was doing a solo. I got to get some pictures tight with the 70-200. Really the only time I broke out the 70-200 because I like shooting with the other faster glass. These are fine. They're drummer shots, right? There's not much you can do with it. I like that because of the angle that he's at. And then more from the stage. Back to the 11-24. Boom. Gives me the devil horn, so I go for it. Still in the pit. Not sure if I like this or don't like this a lot. It's just he's really far away, but it also gives us the large scene. Oh, and this is Dracky Bam Bam from WMMR. He's a radio guy here. One color, one black and white. I'm not sure. I love the tones of the black and white that I got here. The color's fine, but it's good when you can get these two guys in it. 11-24, shooting up here, looks good. That's a good shot, Jared. Nice job. Back on stage, because they told me when Every Rose Has Its Thorn goes on, I can come back up on stage to get ready for the last song because I'm going to end up going out on stage. Good, super wide. I like this. I like the wide nature of it. I love seeing how many people are there. And you can see the difference in light. Well, I'll show you where it started. That's where it started. It's not an easy exposure. If I expose perfectly for him, the background's gonna look like that, right? And that's just not right. That's just, it needs to still have some of that dark area because we are clearly in the shade. And this caught my eye. This sexy beast here on the mirror. So there's a mirror here, and I was standing off to the side. I was like, oh, there's a mirror. Why don't I take a picture of myself? Because I like having pictures of me in mirrors throughout my career. I have a ton of them. This is just another. I'm gonna have to add this to my collection because I just think it's great that I'm on stage shooting and you see the stage that I'm shooting. I just think it doesn't get any better than that. Close-ups of Ricky Rocket, they're fine for him. I'll probably put one in the book. I don't need all three. And it's just, oh, you still have the crowd over here, so that's all right. This shot. So what happens here, I'm at 1/5000th of a second, 1000 ISO. Yes, I could be much lower. I banged out a couple of prints of this, which looks fantastic off of the Pro 1000. I've given away a couple of prints so far. Some people have asked, do you sell these? And the answer is no. I wouldn't sell them unless I asked the band, is it okay if I put some of these up? But I'm not gonna make posters and be like, yeah, you guys can buy these posters. No, because that's their likeness, that's their livelihood. I'm not doing that. But if I asked for permission, it would be a little bit of a different situation. So this happens really fast. Thankfully, there's some photos of me taking this. I don't know if Dan has any video of me doing this, but my goal here is to get my lines straight, which I think they are unbelievably straight here. To be able to get everything lined up almost perfect. I'm looking right here at this barricade line lined with the stage. That looks straight to me. I look to be even left to right. I look to have the same amount of space between the lights up here and the lights over here. And Brett was so nice. He's like, hey, I'm probably gonna bring you up on stage. Is that cool? You know, he said this before the show. And I knew he was gonna do a shot with the crowd. So I get out there, bang out the shot. People say, were you nervous being in front of that many people? And my brain isn't thinking about those people. My brain is, don't back focus, right? Make sure you focus on him. Make sure your lines are as straight as possible. Get a bunch of frames and then get off the stage or get back on, you know, behind the stage a little bit so that you're not the main focus. Now, there is a shot that I ended up missing, which is Brett doing a jump. He did about 2 or 3 jumps throughout the show, and he said after the fact that he was trying to signal me to get that he was getting ready to do a jump. And I didn't know that. I didn't know he was signaling me. I didn't see it. I would never miss it again if I shot again. This was the first time I photographed these guys, and this stuff just, it happens, right? You don't know the show. If you don't know the show, then it's gonna be hard to know when he's gonna jump. I missed it. I wasn't ready for it. So yeah, it's one of those that I missed. But there's some other happy accidents that come up. This is okay, not great, but it's good for Ricky. He's got his Phillies wristband on, his Phillies hat here because they're from the area. And then we're about ready to get to wrapping it up. I'm up on stage for the last shot. CC DeVille. I really like these. You get Tammy here, their photographer on the road. It's always good to get photos of people working so that they have a memory of it as well. Then the band comes out, harsh light off to the side going down. Very difficult to get this shot. Not perfect, it happened fast. I tried to get them to line up in the middle. They're not exactly in the middle. So at that point, it kind of bones your entire shot in terms of getting them in the middle for composition, but it's totally fine. The harder thing is the side light. The side light's a little more difficult here, so that's what I had to deal with. But the next shot is interesting. All right, Dan, start rolling the footage of me walking around the stage looking for the shot. At first I go back, then I'm about to go off to the side and I'm like, no, I'm gonna use this. I think I look around to see if people are calling me off stage and they're not. So I look around and I'm like, well, Brett's still out here. And then he starts walking towards me. Dan, roll this, you can see it. He's rolling towards me and I get down in the crouch. That's my shooting position. Get my lines as straight as possible, and I just start shooting. Now, let me show you the picture that I got. This is the picture that I got. I love it. Is it perfect? No. I talked about cutting off his feet. I don't actually think that matters in this one as much because it's composed properly. It's focused right on his eyes. I'll show you where this image started. This is where this image started. Oh my gosh. Not good. Right? But why is my exposure off? Well, one, I was exposing for where the sun area was, where he was standing, and then he came back into the shadow. I fired the shots off. I'm off by a stop and a third or more, but I'm able to bring it back and get this, in my opinion, winning shot. This kind of makes up for not having the jumping shot. This is great. A lot of people always ask, why don't you use auto ISO? Well, I don't use auto ISO because I don't want it bouncing around from one shot to the next shot to the next shot. I don't want it metering off of someone's pants that are black and then overexposing the image or underexposing the image. I don't feel that that works. Was I off here? Yes. Did I get the shot? Yes. Did I shoot raw and was I able to bring it back to make it amazing in my opinion? Yes. Do the prints look great off of the Pro 100? Cheap plug right there, but yes, they look amazing off of the Pro 100. Leave a comment down below if you got this far and you want this print. Let me know. Maybe you'll get it. Oh, and if someone leaves a comment that says, Telegram me, or I got a prize for you, they're scammers. And if it's not me, because when you click on my logo, you can see that I have 3,500 plus videos. The other people have 0. Don't fall for scammers. I really love this shot. One of my favorite from the day. It just happens so fast. You just have to react and you just have to get it. And I was able to get the shot in this case. Let's go through and take it down to what I think are going to be the best of the best and see how many we get from 71 down. Let's see, from 77 down. So this is definitely a keeper. I kind of want him warming up, but do I need this many shots back there? This is a keeper. We're going to say, I like this one better. I'm going to get rid of this one. And not get rid of it, like delete it, but it's still a 5-star. I can come back to it. It's still good, but I like this one because it shows more of the scene. I like this with both of them in it. Then we get on stage. I think I can do without this one. I don't think this one's that strong, so I get rid of it, but I think this is much stronger of him warming up. Crew guy, I'll keep it here because it's a good shot. Crew guy passing this to the bass player, keep it. God, these are so damn good. Do we like the smile or do we like the reflection in the glass? This is a tough choice. This is what we go through when it comes to selecting the best of the best. I like that. God, see, oh, that's the reflection of the light. That's why it's so much more orange than this, because this is reflecting here. No, I think I want this one. This one, this one. We're not gonna go with the black and white. We don't go with this, but these are still good to give them for the book. No, not for that, not for that, not for that. I can't do this one. It just doesn't work. It's fine, it's a snapshot. It's not as much of a photograph as that is. I like he's waiting, and then he goes. We got Ricky in color, we got Ricky in black and white. We're going with the color. Now keep in mind, sorry, we're going with the black and white. Keep in mind, we've got a bunch of other drumming shots that we don't want to repeat them, so that one doesn't go. This one goes because we see the scene, so this stays. Then I have to decide between black and white or color. Right now I'm feeling the color of it, so I'm gonna go with the color. I think this is good enough to keep. One of my favorite. I like this because it has both of them in it, CC and Brett. I mean, I don't think this is that good. They may like it, but I don't think that, I mean, the Embrace is always good. I just don't think it's that good of a shot. I like the composition here because we've got the two things here on the left and the right. I'm gonna keep that. Another one of Ricky, but we already have this one. So which one's better, right? They're very similar. So he's got the hat on. I'm probably gonna keep the first one. We're gonna go with the first one. I don't think this is a winning shot. I don't think this is it's good, but I don't think it's the best of the best. That's okay. I don't like that I cut his foot off. I cut his leg off. I think I'll keep this black and white because I have him all in there. Get rid of the color. I like this. I'm probably gonna keep that as well. Then I have to decide between black and white and color here. Let's go with the color. See, here's the thing. I've got this, this, and this. I don't know that this is needed, right? I cut his foot off, that pisses me off, but it is what it is. Yeah. My brain is thinking that I should put this into my video guide. So I like this, but I gotta choose. I don't have to choose. I'm gonna keep them right now. Actually, I'll keep this too. I like it. And I'll probably get rid of this one. I like that. We got the color. But I like the skulking across the stage, but I could only keep one of these. It's gonna be this, I'm gonna keep the color one, this black and white one, and I like him coming back towards me as well. Which one of these? Because these are very similar. Not this. I like the light there. Brett's eyes are in the sun. Harmonica. Let's keep both of these. I'm just not gonna go with that one. I like his feet position here more. Feet position there are perfect. I don't know. I think no, I don't like that look as much. I'll go with, I like the face, but I like the legs here, and I like the flying V, so I'm gonna go with that. Of Ricky, I probably would just keep the next one for him. This is all right. Not the best. That's all right. I just, it's too cliche. I like this a little bit. Is it too far? Maybe, but we're gonna keep it. Color black and white, color black and white. I mean, I love the black and white. Color's good too. I'm just gonna keep them both for now. I like this one of Ricky on stage. Even though we have others, we won't have too many. I would have to pick one of these. Probably the one with him yelling at me, towards me. We're keeping me. Ricky pointing. I'm gonna go with the one being lit by the light in there. This is obviously a keeper. This is not a best of the best, but for Ricky, we would keep it. When I mean best of the best, it's not like this, right? It doesn't stand out great like that, but it's a drummer and you need to get the drummer shot. And I like it though. Both of these I like. Still like that because we got Tammy in there. These will wrap it up because they're okay. They're snapshotty. These are snapshots. These legitimately are snapshots for the band. I'd get rid of that one. This is there because it's the band. It's okay. It's not great. And then this wraps it up as one of my favorites. That's 44 images. So we got it down to 44. So we went from 2,128 down to 44. I'm happy with those 44. I think they make a really good photo story. I think I went through and you've got the story of what I was able to get. Backstage, there's a portrait. I didn't have portraits of everybody. I probably could have said, hey guys, would I be able to get, I didn't know all of them yet. And I didn't have an opportunity to do those portraits. I probably could have banged them out real fast. I probably could have been like, hey, stand here, let me get a portrait, stand here, let me get a portrait, and been done in under a minute. Of all of them, I probably should have asked CC for one too, but first time seeing them, there will possibly be another opportunity. But I'm really happy with these results. And I hope you enjoy this breakdown. I'm going to be putting together an entire video guide that I will sell that's going to be real world shoots that you'll see me do, but also breaking down shoots like this. I should probably put this one in there, but I'm giving it away, I guess, for now, because I just want to share this. But that's me breaking, I have plenty of shoots to break down. This is how it's going to work. Breaking down, analyzing, culling the images, how I get from point A to point B. Thank you guys very much for watching. Jared, PolandFroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.